When it comes to cedar down south, we have a tree that I call, and a lot of call, southern aromatic cedar, which it doesn't look like the western red cedar. They don't grow as big, they grow knotty, they're cool looking, but once they get to a certain size, not all the time, but a lot of time, what I call cancer in them shows up. And I have bought a lot of logs. I have cut down some trees for free just to cut them open and find they're just full of cancer. But I'm going to show you a sure shot way of, well, it'll have to hit the ground, but once it hits the ground or someone's selling you a log, look for this before you give them a nickel for it. Now this is a log, I just cut it. You see that there? That's death. That's the tree starting to die. These things, most of the time, they die from the center out, the cedar tree does. Now, I just cut that. Over here, on this side, there's just very little sign. Don't. This was like a 12-foot log, but I cut it down to 6 and a 4. And the reason I was hoping, because on the very bottom of the log, let me show you. Look, see that? All this is bad. When you cut it, you'll get a couple here. That travels, you just don't know how deep that travels. Sometimes it's top to bottom. Sometimes it's worse on the bottom and it gets lighter as it goes to the top. That's why I cut this log to see what it looked like in the center, because I knew this wasn't really gonna be no good. See this one here? It's got some in it. This is the bottom end, so it's not too bad. I'll get some boards out of it. This is the bottom end. That's a good log. It's got a few little spots. I mean, I've got a stack of cedar here now, but that's a big one there. See, a lot of times them big ones, everybody's, give me a 24-inch one. Well, western cedar, you might could do that, but in a southern aromatic, when they get up to, that's probably, you can get 24-inch out of that, but look, the whole center is rotted. Now there's a big one. It's not too bad. That's a pretty good log. I doubt you get 24, but you get real close, 22 or so. But most of these, some of them got some worse. The smaller ones, see these small ones, around 12, 14, 16, maybe 18 inches. That's your good southern aromatic if you want a good solid board. But once they get real big, there's a big one that just has a little bit. But I might go to the other end, it might be awful. But if someone has some trees they want to sell you and they're cut down, look at the ends. Look at them good, because I bought some, they just totally rotted on the inside, and I just had to cut them up just to get rid of them. And or if you're someone's like, if you cut them down, you can have them. I went out there, worked my butt off cutting down trees, and half of it wasn't no good. Usually the top half's good, but they're getting a little thin up top. These trees are kind of cone shaped more than a straight log top to bottom. But we're gonna cut this one open and see how bad it is on the inside. Maybe the top and bottom be good and it just be in the center. I don't know. There's only one way to find out, just to go slicing. That's a pretty cedar board there. No rot in it. If it was like that all the way through, it'd be wonderful. But we'll probably be good. See, there's some starting to show up right there. And look, there's a lot starting to show up right there. I'll be in that one in my next cut. right, here's what I'm talking about. This done showed up. The first decent board in. Can you see that? That's all, let's swap hands. That's all soft. It runs all the way to about a foot up the board. A little bit right there. Then the rest of it's still good. But all that right there, once it dries, it's gonna look even worse. I mean, it's just gonna draw up and fall out. Basically, there'll be a hole there. That's the back side. The front of that board's a good board. It's got that at the bottom, but you could always use the front. This side of that board's a good board. You just have to put it something where that other side's on the bottom. Can't see it. Bottom of a table, bottom of a bench, the back of something. If you put it on the wall, put that to the back side. Something. Now there's a reason why I call this cancer. Now I'm not making fun of cancer. It's a serious thing. I've known people die from it. But to a tree, this is a lot like it. You know, sometimes you go in, you get a checkup, and the doctor says, hey, you know, you got cancer. Then they say, it's a good thing. We caught it early, you know. And that sometimes I catch a tree and it's early. There's just a little bit at the bottom or a few places in it. But then sometimes you go to the doctor and, you know, they waited too long. They just ate up with it. It's just, you know, just like a tree. It's from top to bottom. There's so much you can't really, you know, his days are numbered, I guess you'd say. But that's why I call it cancer. Like I said, I'm not making fun of cancer. It's a serious thing, but this just reminds me of it, how it just starts, and then before you know it, it's done made its way all the way through the tree, you know, and just gets bigger, just grows, you know. I don't know if they could have done something to stop it, some kind of treatment to the tree or something. I don't know. It probably just lived its life, you know. These trees, like I said, once they get a certain size, they just start dying from the inside out. But that's why I call it that. Let's keep cutting, see if it gets any worse, see how far it starts traveling up that log. All right, I'm gonna find somewhere, hopefully in the shade, to stack them just the way I cut them and see what we got, see how far it runs and how bad they are. Let's start off with the first board we cut. Okay, hold on. No, that's just the bottom cut. This is the first board we cut. It looks good on this side. It's a little skinny, but it's some good wood. It's a little messed up on this. Now here, there's a second board off that same side we cut. It's starting to get some rot, not bad down at the other side though. That was actually the top down here. Now here we go to the next one. Rot, but it's good down at the bottom. Now this is the center of the board, what we call the pith. I centered that pith 3/4 inch on each side so I'd get most of it out. But see, rot, some more rot, all the way from one end to the other. That thing is rotted. It's worse on the other side. That's actually a good side. Then we come out of the pith. It's pretty good. That was the top of the log. It's pretty good. It's got a rot. Then you get down here, rot. The next board, look, rot, rot. Then this one right here is right beside it. It's got rot all the way to the bottom. Let me look at the other side real quick. Yeah, other side just as bad. Rot. Then we go up a little more, look. Rot, 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 rot. I mean, now I ain't saying them boards are useless. Some people want to put a little epoxy in there. Some people look for boards that need a little epoxy. You could clean them little grooves out, put your little blue in there, and make you a little river or something kind of like running through it. But you know, me personally, I wouldn't want to give top dollar for a board with rot in it, even if I was leaning towards that. Out of that log, I'd say I only got 3 decent slabs. And that was the top of the log. I still got the bottom 4 foot, which is in awful shape. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I'll cut one side, cut the other side till I hit rot on each side. Then I'll stand the log on end upwards and then trim off of each end and leave that center chunk that's bad right in the center. Look like a 6x6 or something left right in the center, or 4x4 according to how bad it is. But that's just what to look for when you're buying or acquiring a cedar log. Thanks for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I sure appreciate it.